Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to the special edition Fall Equinox reading. Fall Equinox is happening on the 22nd of September. Of course, if you're in the southern hemisphere somewhere, it's going to be a spring equinox for you. But because the vast majority of my viewers are from the northern hemisphere, to my knowledge, I will focus on the fall equinox specifically. And honestly, the spring equinox, energetically, it's kind of like the same point where the night and the day are of the same length. The difference is, of course, that in spring, we're opening the door today for the day to become much longer, or like longer and longer and longer gradually, right? And it's that energy of the energy, the energy of the energy. It's the energy of building up that enthusiasm and momentum and having that extra jolt of encouragement for whatever it is you're doing. And when it comes to the fall equinox, it's the other way around. We are now going slowly into the winter hibernation state, where the nights are a lot longer and the nighttime is the time for contemplation, for intuitive messages, for that kind of reflective learning, right? It's a little bit less about action on the outside, it's more about action within. And you can especially feel that when you visit locations where that, you know, are kind of high in the latitude, where that difference becomes very noticeable very quickly. And up till that winter point where the vast majority of the daylight, I was in Sweden last year, and the daylight in December lasts for like 4 hours. No joke. And then the rest of it is night. And yes, there's a little bit of that dawn time, a little bit of that dusk time, you know, where technically it's not already considered daylight, right? But there's in between time. But for the most part, it's night. And it changes your perspective dramatically on how you feel in general, you know, how you utilize that little time that you have of the daylight. And, you know, there's a big tradition in Sweden where people, they have these lights in the windows, usually designed as candles. They're not real candles, but that's the design. And the point is that this is like that extra word of encouragement and hope and support, especially for people outside, right? Because when you're outside, especially in the older days when didn't have, you know, the street lights, it was dark, like that's it, it's dark. And it could be 4 p.m. and it would be that dark. So, you know, people are still supposed to be out and about doing something, but you know, these lights in the windows are the ones that keep you going or provide some guidance, right? And encouragement. So there's a lot of symbolism, a lot going on here with this change. That's one of the reasons it's a big milestone, one of the biggest milestones of the year. Of course, it was just preceded by a partial solar eclipse in Virgo that we were experiencing. Well, I'm recording this on the 21st, so yes, just like hours before. Actually, it's probably still happening. Some of it is still happening as I'm recording this. So, and that of course impacts as well, especially because it's a 29 degrees Virgo, which means that it's a karmic degree. It's about letting go a lot of what we've accumulated if you wish for me to build that metaphor, it's like we've had these cycles where there's a lot of daylight and we were doing a lot of things out and about, building relationships, asserting ourselves in some shape or form, going after our dreams, right? And we've accumulated a lot of information, a lot of experience, also a lot of pain with that, whether we like it or not. And so this is like that moment to be able to calibrate through that information and be able to release anything that we've learned, we've, you know, gotten our t-shirt, our sticker, and we're done with this milestone. We're ready to move on to something else, right? This is that part. So I will do a tarot reading, of course, in a moment, and we'll see how this energy impacts us. we'll see what this change, what this switch presents us with. Like, what is this inviting us to look at? What kind of themes, what kind of aspects of our life? Then we'll see how can we utilize this energy to bring about what we set intentions for with the new moon in Virgo, which is accidentally the same day, right? Because solar eclipses happen on the new moon. And the third one is going to be like, what is on the other side? What can we hope for, look forward to for this? All right, so we will start with a quick oracle message actually. And look at that as solitude. In silence, peace prevails. Yes, I mean, I was talking a lot about it, but essentially, right, that's that reflective time. This time when we honor that we're getting more into the hibernation state, whether we, however we look at it, right? It's just the reality. The daylight, there's gonna be a lot less daylight from now on. We're already noticing it by this time, 100% compared to summer. And this is a reminder that this is where you don't stretch yourself as thin as you would, being out and about in that doing mode, right? It is more to gather your energy back, to bring it back to yourself and see how you can support yourself, how you can take care of your own reality, your own body, your own mental health, whatever you're called to do. And of course, we'll get some guidance in this reading, what it is. Apologize for the lighting. I was trying to use the daylight, but this is ironic because it's very much an illustration of what we're dealing with. I didn't predict my timing right, and so of course it's already the dusk time, but you guys can still see me, and I don't plan this to be a very long reading, so I'm sure we'll be fine. Okay, let me just pick up the card. That will be our first card of the reading. And it's the Seven of Pentacles. It was actually in reverse, so I'm gonna keep it that way. So this first question is, what are we supposed to pay attention to with this? Then we have Six of Swords and Magician in reverse. Okay, I'll speak to this in a moment when I lay out all the cards. The second one is, how do we use this energy to bring our dreams about and whatever we set intentions for during new moon? Queen of Cups, the World, and Four of Cups. Look at all the cups, wow. And then the third one, what's on the other side? What should we look forward to? Justice. Wow, that's pretty much says it all, right? Especially in the current day and age. Seven of Cups and Three of Swords. Okay. All right, bottom of the deck, Page of Wands. Yeah, like to me, this card definitely reminds me of the summertime. People going on vacations, enjoying summer weather, just like being a little frivolous, like letting your hair down, dancing, maybe partying, whatever that was, like that's the backdrop to how we see the world right now and what energy we're in. And I know we've been in this back to school energy for a couple of weeks now in September, but for a lot of people, there's still that nostalgia, right? Especially when you still experience warm days outside, right? It's still, our body's telling us it still feels like summer, right? It doesn't feel like fall at all. So what themes, what do we need to pay attention to? Seven of Pentacles in reverse, Six of Swords, and the Magician. Honestly, this is a confirmation to what I was talking about, that peace, and we saw that message, in solitude, peace prevails. Six of Swords is about peace. This is central. What brings you peace? And it shouldn't be about planning or doing or creating something material, right? It's the state within, and that's what you need to focus on right now. See what gets you into that space of peace and maybe quiet as well, who knows? But something that calms the storm and allows you to focus on what really matters to you at that moment, right? Actually asking yourself. The second question is, how do you use the energy to bring our dreams about? Queen of Cups, the World, and Four of Cups. This is owning your own life. And that starts with owning your emotions as well. You know, that it's kind of like as within, so without, right? Like your world view reflects the world that you will see around yourself, right? And a lot of it depends on the emotional well-being, on how you respond and react to what's going on how regulated your nervous system is. I'm actually about to create a video on that. I might post it on this channel as well, but it will definitely be on Instagram. So if you don't follow me yet, follow me. There's a link in the, well, on YouTube, yes, if you go to that tab, there's other links, and also on my website, there are all the social links there, mindfulbamboo.com. But the download that I received today was that, you know, so many people, even on the spiritual path, they manage to do what we call spiritual bypassing, where they learn a lot of information, they even perform rituals, you know, they get supposedly into the new mindset. But when it comes to some triggering situation, they still tend to go very dramatic, emotional, or closed down, suppressed. And neither of those extremes, by the way, signal about your, you know, ascension and being spiritually mature and all that stuff, right? But the truth is, not a lot of people still know about nervous system reset and self-regulation and co-regulation of the nervous system. It's definitely a topic for a different video, but maybe even multiple videos. But what I would say is, the more you look into that, and just a little hint, it can include your physical health, especially your digestive system, health of your skin, and health of your bones and joints. It can include mindfulness practices, of course, right? And of course, in the longer term, it definitely includes doing inner work and working through the trauma that you've experienced in the past. Again, not suppressing it, but actually looking at it face on and, you know, processing it and releasing it, right? And then you're rebuilding, the final stage is you're rebuilding to what is the behavior that you want to have, or what is the, you know, what do you want to create in your reality around you? How do you think, whoops, sorry about that, guys. I have a cat with long nails trying to get on myself. Or how do you see yourself responding to a similar, maybe somewhat triggering and challenging situation in the future, you know, in a healthier space? And so last but not least is what's on the other side. And yes, we saw a Three of Swords here, but you know what, again, especially with this image, if you can see, like, this woman is, or a person, let's say, this person is like screaming out, and to me this is that release of the repressed emotion, of whatever you've been holding on to that wasn't expressed. It's a very important part of healing, and to me that's that release. And it doesn't have to look like that, you know, literally but that's what allows for the heart to heal, to continue healing, or to actually heal. And then with this, of course, the Justice and Seven of Cups, like, once you overcome certain barriers, and once you prioritize your own peace, your own wellness, the regulation of your nervous system, then the world is your oyster, right? Justice comes around where you get rewarded for, you know, whatever you've been through and whatever you've learned. And new doors are getting open with Seven of Cups. You get new options, new choices, right? Where you can actually, you're getting into a new challenge of like, what do I actually want to do? Because I have so many opportunities now, right? That I'm like, wow, what do I really want? Because it sounds like I want all of them. But now that's the question, because I need to really focus on something, or maybe a couple of things, but I cannot do all six, right? So that's what's on the other side. Okay, I hope this was useful to you guys. Thank you so much for being with me. If you like this content, please hit the like button. And of course, until next time.